content creators are emerging successful in avenues such as authors, teachers, and even entrepreneurs. Today with us we have Aman Odeshi, who is the co-founder of Odanta. Odanta is one such startup that is facilitating the disruption of content creation industry. It produces amazing tools and provides a platform to content creators of various niches to come and unite with their audience and, and build strong monetary avenues. Today, we will be learning about his journey and how he began Odanta and what exactly Odanta does in order to help content creators unite with their audience.
Content. So suppose if you are a finance creator, so I'm sure like there are so many tips and there's so many so much knowledge that you have that you can pass on to other kids, other social media, like whoever's following you on social media. So basically, any finance creator can sign up on Udanta, start a course. They can sell access to digital products if they have guides, if they have like hardcore Excel sheets, if they have some article, if they want to host a workshop, just have answer some questions from their followers about some exam that's coming up or what's going on in the market right now, and that's just finance creators. You can do the same across all channels. So like, we've had like a lot of gamers post exclusive content. So what they do is they set a price for that video. So suppose it's very easy to do. So you upload your video, whatever you do on YouTube, same format, everything same. You upload a video, put a price on it, like say two, $300 for like, the top BTS.
So, like next, what I'd like to ask is like how important is community for content creators? So, like content creators generally need to build a community, and those are the people who follow the creators. So, like how important is it for content creators to create community, and how can they do it in an effective manner?
So I believe community is everything, and community is the one thing that always gets very irritated or doesn't feel the content is original when you do brand promotions, right? Because whenever you see brand promotions, people are like, "Arey, ye to like who cares about this?" Like mostly everyone understands now because we've been living on social media for years now, but it's yet not what they really want. And India, there is a mentality where we don't really go and support our creators and artists, and like unless like we need to get something in return for that. So that's why I feel engaging with your community is most important for smaller creators and especially for larger creators, because they can like boost you to the stratosphere, in terms of your how much you can grow on, not just online, but how much you can grow financially as well. So like working, always being in touch with your community is very important. Like I've heard a lot of and I've seen cases of creators, who lost touch with the community and they have great followings and they keep getting branded promotions, but it's not the same. Like and then you see someone like someone like Viraj Gilani or someone, like these guys are like, he's someone who's had a hardcore following since ages, like, and some of these gamers as well, like, which I've been watching, like, I myself were watching it since 2015, 2014, since the start of the creator economy. And they get like, just want to do what they're doing. And on the side, they make some money also through like their branded promotions or like it depends on how smart the creator is. Like, there's a way to make branded promotions look organic, right? Because like sometimes advertisements are a lot of fun to watch. We watch it a lot like when we were growing up. So it depends on the creator and who they're working with. So I feel it's a balance, but at the same time, like your community is very important, and to basically to use your community for your own good, right, is like something that you need to figure out exactly when you are like, how much do these guys support me? That's like the main question you need to ask yourself.
And like, what is it like? Mainly, most of these creators are based on YouTube or Instagram, like TikTok in the US, or like they are too much dependent on Google and Facebook. So, like, how does that dependence on Google and Facebook impact them? And like, uh what can entrepreneurs do? Like, Udanta does some work in that space. So, like, how does this thing work?
So it's not necessarily a bad thing to be dependent on someone like Google, like in terms of YouTube and in terms of Facebook, because they have Instagram and WhatsApp and whatnot, like, because there's a network effect, right? There are thousands of people on these applications already. So it's not really a bad thing if you like, tap those audiences and like bring it on. But after a point, you need to ask yourself, what am I doing more? Like, how can I? It has to be very, organic, but it has to be a plan that you need to lay out immediately when you start seeing growth. Like, and that's how Odanta comes in place, because what it does is essentially gives you own web page where you can create the same content you're making, but allow you to earn from it in like so many multiple ways, right? And you can, I mean, of course, like that's not the thing. You know how easy it is to make a website nowadays. Like you just
Mhm.
buy a domain, like kya kehte hain, like aditya.com, and then you're sorted. Like you can start like posting your YouTube video, like whatever you're posting on YouTube, everything you can put them here. And like I've seen so many examples of creators who like kept whatever they're doing on Instagram as a side thing while they have their own website, while they have their own like fledgling businesses where they make money through selling courses or workshops or their time or actual products like energy drinks or like journals, whatever it is. Like we covered this on our Instagram post also recently, how creators can become entrepreneurs. And I think that's essential. Like at the end of the day, your content is something that is your passion, and unless you have a way to monetize it, you cannot sustain it in the long run, because as you know, like only 2% of creators earn enough. So if you are in that position to actually monetize your content, you should be able to take that.
Yeah, I recently saw this post by Rachmani too, where he said influencers, content creators, they've been brand, they worked like that, and now it's time for them to become creators as well, entrepreneurs as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. So you also mentioned about courses and all. So like again over there also there are a lot of platforms that these creators have to depend upon for courses. So like that is fine, but then like how can creators control the quality of their courses and like ensure that it is valuable to their viewers?
Because what happens is, I think when you're doing content on the site, like when you're doing a content, it becomes hard to like, manage this, because as you know, courses involves video editing, product, like, it's an entire process, because you need to be able to get done. It's not as easy as, putting a reel, because there's so many apps for reels and for what TikTok in the US. But a course is something that, needs to have genuine value in it. So it depends on who this creator is working with. Like, if you have like smart people around you, like, if it's a bunch of your friends and all, you just ensure that, whatever you're doing, you're speaking to other people. Uh, work with like companies like Odanta, because like we have so much already data with us where we can, figure out what we can do for creators, like, how courses can grow, what do you need to say, and like watch the people who come before you. Like there are so many people who are already doing courses. Like I know so many of my friends have taken UX courses directly from a creator rather than do it on Coursera or something. So like
Yeah.
there are so many there are so many people who are already doing it. Like sign up for a free one, or just like pay like max to max like a 500-600 bucks for like a small course. See what others are doing, and then you will have a great idea on how to like make a course. And then it mostly in the end it's about selling the course, right? Like you need to make it peppy, you need to make it fun, you need to make sure that at the end people are like everything is summarized. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I mean the business aspect of that begins once the course is produced, like to reach out to maximum number of people. It's the business aspect that
Yeah.
yeah. So like to connect more with the audience, like there are like two parts of the question. Like one is like how can a creator connect more with audience in general, like through like regional languages or by using English? What would be a major medium? And the second part would be like what is a better way to connect with the audience, either uh, through video, what could we say, video content or through audio
uh,
content, or
or
I mean audio or text content.
so all of it is again like doesn't have to be either or. What you can do is like, I know, see, it depends. Right now, if you were a kid grown up in Mumbai or Delhi or something, right, you've spoken in Hindi and English most of the time. Like you have no other access to regional languages, like max to max, you know Gujarati, or from South India, Tamil or Telugu. So it depends, like, on your upbringing. Like, there have been, like, there was this entire thing where this woman was like, darkening her skin and acting as someone who's living on the streets, like, and just for views and all. And that seems inauthentic because that's not that person. So I always feel like stick to what you're good at. If you are someone who's grown up reading in Tamil, watching movies in Tamil, or like listening to music in Tamil, you have a great background to do content in Tamil. Or like, because I know someone I'd reached out to runs a podcast that just like translates popular books to Tamil and reads them out, like Harry Potter, or like, you have Narnia or whatever. So because they knew that stuff, like it depends on what you're good at. Like you cannot just pick up a regional skill because you read in the newspaper, कि हाँ, that's where the main market is. But of course, that's where the main market is, and if you can, connect with that audience organically, then wonderful. And in terms of the second question, again, like there's a reason why audiovisual content is doing so good, because like it's so easy to like watch it, right? Reading takes time, but like a fun video explaining like a recipe or whatever it is, like it's fun to watch. And but at the same time, like if you see any of those food videos, right, those like those fast on like cut, they cut very fast to different things. In the end, the recipe is written down in the caption or on the website only. So don't like, I mean, it's no creator should always like pigeonhole themselves that मैं सिर्फ video content करूंगा, or that I'm a writer, I can't do audio or something, because I know so many writers who run such great podcasts. So and I mean, even if the medium is different, it's your choice to master the other one, and then you need to grow, so you have to take those risks.
Right. So, like on Odanta, like what kind of content is available on Odanta?
So Odanta, actually, we started off when we were starting off with the idea. I wanted to create it because I was a writer myself. Like I should have writing, and then I realized, like, but I am very like I would rather be running a startup. So when I did that, I wanted to like make sure create a tool that was for writers. So in the start, you only had text content, so writers could sell access to the content, like something like Substack. That's what it had started. Like writers can sell access to newsletters, or like directly send contact or their content to their creators. But then I realized like there's a reason why audiovisual content is booming, and why there shouldn't be any, as I told you, that we shouldn't pigeonhole any creator in any form. So then we started, that's why we expanded to not just articles, but to like selling digital products, videos, exclusive videos, courses, workshops, whatever you wanted to do, you could do on Odanta. And yeah, so that's how we grew. Like, we kept pivoting, which is, I feel, important if you're running any kind of startup, like, because what I had originally planned for Odanta and now what we are doing is completely different. But it's it's like the big reality, right? You need to be able to make money no
Yeah.
matter what business you're doing. It's a startup or whatever. You cannot depend on fundraising. And I once that reality set in my head, I realized what I had to do. So it's either like, uh, survival of the fittest. Like you need to make money, or no one, or your business won't work. Like it's simple. And I feel like all entrepreneurs, especially now, need to have that in their heads. Like, don't start. There are only two major rules to starting a business, I believe. Uh, know what you're going to, how you're going to earn money before you do anything. Don't say upar upar ke I'll do advertisement or I'll sell my data. How will you sell your data? Have that plan ready. Who are you going to sell it to? Whatever, make sure it's ethical, whatever it is. And secondly, do not jump in alone. Like it might seem, like I know all the answers, but the thing is, it's not just the investors who will be a little stressed, but you have to make sure that you have a team with you who's like fully into the idea that you are trying to make. And it can be their idea, it can be whatever idea that you guys created, like, but never jump into it with alone. Like have a team, because running a startup is really hard. And like, I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. And plus it just like gives you a proper perspective on it. So focus on a team and focus on how you're going to make money. And if your idea, if you execute it well, I'm sure like whoever the person's running it, they'll definitely find some success.
Right. I mean, can I know more about the like initial phase of Odanta and the team working at Odanta right now? Like who are your co-founders? A bit about them.
So initially, Odanta was supposed to be this AI engine, basically, that helped you find recommendations, basically what creators do online. we were just trying to make it through AI. But then we realized like we had a lot of these tools available. So instead of just us focusing on using AI to run them, why wouldn't we just open access to all for the creators to use these tools directly? So it didn't make sense for us to just have a full keep it closed off. So we opened it up and we just allowed all creators to do so. And yeah, I mean, in terms of the team, I started out with a friend of mine, and then because of course, different directions, I then started working with this common friend I knew, who was who was a couple of years junior to us, but he was a proper engineer. So he was just about to graduate, and I was like, then then it makes sense to have him be in the team. And then yeah, so after that, it's just been the two of us, a couple of engineers, and just like running it all on our own.
Okay, cool. So, like, can I know a bit more about your educational background? Like, what have you done?
So I studied from the University of Toronto, and I had a degree in finance and economics.
Okay,
But after that, I actually worked as a creative producer because I really liked working in that creative aspect, like being writing, producing, developing, whatever. So I worked that for a year. And then when I realized, I loved all of this, but I needed to run my own thing, or at least try to do my own thing before I, uh, did a job or anything. So that's why then after all of this, like business experience as well as creative experience, I decided to mix the two and start Odanta.
okay, cool. Okay, so
Yeah.
you've tried content creation as well on your own?
No, no, no. I never did the regular content creation. I wrote directly for like production houses,
Right.
the maybe the mainstream or the traditional route I took. But yeah, and then because it's easier to if you're like smart enough and you have good connections there, you make money faster there. And then yeah, and then I realized like I wanted to branch out on my own, and I guess I started on like working on the right after.
Right. Also, you mentioned AI in it. So, like, how will right now, since there's so many AI tools coming in the market, like ChatGPT and so much more. So, like, how is AI going to revolutionize the writing space? Like, ChatGPT can like write anything, create any content very quickly. How is that going to affect the writers' uh, market? Like, how are writers going to change their game to be still relevant?
Uh, I feel it depends on what kind of writer you are. So if you see ChatGPT is of course great, and to write like little copy and all, you won't need writers. So that little bit, it's like the same. Like any kind of technology always removes, makes the the lower level, lower rungs of like skilled people in terms of writing, like who are at the bottom, like who are doing this on the side, who are just trying to come up. They won't get jobs very fast, and it's a sad reality, but everyone's faced it. You just have to upskill yourself and start becoming good, because I feel like books, or your TV shows or your films or your what do you say, in terms of like education, like how much writing that needs to be done, like textbooks, all of that. There's so many opportunities for writers to keep making money. So chat gpt taking away livelihoods is a very wrong, like, or a very false statement. I do not think that will ever happen, because technology has been around for a while, and people yet have blogs, people yet love to read people's blogs, people's ideas, people love to read news in general. And it's just pivot yourself, just move into a different direction. And I mean, chat gpt is a revolution in itself, right? Like everyone who's tried it has had so much fun playing around with it. So you cannot like put down the technology at all. But yeah, I mean, writers I think will have to just become a little bit smarter, use other avenues, get creative, because that's the point of writing. And then it does not, I think both can coexist at the same time.
Like I feel like if the writer puts in his emotion, his perspective more into his work, then it'll be pretty easier to connect with the audience, and that's how we can
Yeah.
still be in the game.
Yeah, because I mean, anything that COVID has taught us is that that's why all these tech companies are losing money right now. Is right. No matter how much they try to say that, oh, you need to be connected with technology, at some point, people do not want to be connected with technology. People want to get out of their house and watch movies, or they want to go out and meet people at restaurants, and they want to go travel to different places or connect with each other. So that is never going to change. And I feel COVID just showed us that, like, yeah, sure, we are a very intelligent species, and we'll create really good tools that help us live our lives, but they won't ever take over us, right?
Yeah,
Like, we cannot ever say that we will never need a writer, because like I would want to read books. I would want to speak to writers and hear about what the experiences are, and like read blogs and read sports news, and like read so much content that I wouldn't be able to with just like an AI chatbot writing it.
yeah. I mean, the one thing that everyone was looking forward during the COVID times was ability to connect with someone. Like technology has facilitated the connection between two humans. That's the thing that has happened.
Hmm. Right,
Yeah.
definitely. And like props, like they have their own space, and like they deserve their own laurels for getting ahead where we do. But it's again, there's so much life, like there's so many people, there's so much life to be lived. And I don't think anything works like that. Like one thing stops and the other one continues.
Yeah, actually. Yeah. So, like you mentioned movies and all. So, like, are you a movie buff? You like watching movies and stuff?
Yeah. So I'm a great, like, so my entire starting Odanta was just that I wanted to create an AI recommendation engine and tell suggest movies to everyone around me. So that's like the original idea that I had. I developed my own algorithm and all for it. So I love movies. Like I've grown up watching movies like since, and I watch everything or anything I can get my hands on.
So, like, what's the recent movie that you watched, and what's like your favorite movie that you like to rewatch, like anytime when you are feeling bored or down? Anything?
So, like a recent thing that I've been watching is I watched the Creed movies actually, because the third part of those Rocky movies was coming out. So I recently watched Creed. I was watching RRR finally after so long. I hadn't watched it properly. And but yeah, I mean, I don't have a favorite movie at all. Like right now I'm in the zone where I want to watch new content. So like I don't ever go back to rewatch anything that I've already watched. But like I mean, the OG classics like Spider-Man 2, Die Hard, like action fun movies that are playing, so I can just like continue watching. Like
Dark
that's
Knight.
always like been, yeah, like Dark Knight. Actually, I find Dark Knight a little bit too like dark. Like I would rather watch something like Spider-Man 2, or something
A
light.
bit
Like that's been
fun,
my,
funny humor.
yeah, always. But yeah, I mean, I'll watch anything actually. But right now, I love watching like a little bit something that's a little bit lighter on the mind. It's with
Like,
when you're working hardcore, like you need something light.
yeah, that's true. Do you read books as well?
Yeah,
Books,
I do read
podcasts.
books.
Okay. Like, what do you go to books to find information, knowledge about finance or entrepreneurship?
So I generally do not like reading nonfiction, unless it's nonfiction like related to like the earth or the like natural or something like something nonfiction in terms of that. I only love to read fiction, so I will pick up any book related to any whatever story someone's trying to say, and I'll read it up. And yeah, I mean, books have been my thing before movies also actually. So books are like OG to me.
Right. Yeah, I mean, fiction books can teach us a lot more than what non-fiction self-help books can help. Like even
Definitely.
it's actually even easier for me personally to read a fiction book. Like like invested into the story and I want to know more what happens next. And it somehow just takes it.
Yeah, definitely. Like I know people like love reading nonfiction, but I feel that's not for me right now. Abhi to I'm very young. I would rather read like books that are actual something interesting to about it. And then nonfiction is very important, but nonfiction is a category which I like to watch. Then you give me like a documentary to watch or something, then that's better for me. I don't like to read about stuff. Like kitna to padha hai yaar life mein.
I have the same use. I'm like, if at all, like whenever the time comes, I will from the inside. I'll want to read this specific non-fiction book. It's not like if someone suggested, I'll read it.
Yeah,
If I need
yeah,
it
no
from the
chance.
inside, I'll feel like reading it.
Yeah, definitely. It depends on the mood or the phase of your life you're going through. Like I remember there's a phase of my life where I was really into like finance and everything because I just started my college. So I was reading a lot of books on like risk and like business practices and like nonfiction on like how important it is to handle financial risk and all. But then that phase died away when I was done. Then again with the 2019 elections, I was reading a lot of political books about India, and even that phase died out. So, but fiction books will always like be a mainstay.
Yeah. I mean, stories are what keeps us connected and keeps our mind open as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Coming back to Odanta, like how do you reach out? Like how do Odanta like reach out to its viewers? Like how do viewers find out about Odanta?
Uh,
And also
if
how
the best part about
creators know about Odanta.
so so I'll answer the second one first. So getting the creators is the tough part because once we have the creators, then it's collaborations, right? And we basically use something called the flywheel effect to full advantage. Creators already have a great following. We are giving creators the tool to make money. It's a win-win for creators and us because then creators collaborate with us on social media or whatever. Even if like someone who has like a 50 or 100K following, even if they collaborate with us, like a lot of more people will know about us. So we use that to maximum advantage for, so our Odanta page has been quite a lot of collaborations. Like if you go through it, like it's a lot of collaborations with different creators in terms of film, sports. Right now we are doing tech a lot. So it's mostly collaborations. And reaching out to creators is always a tough part because like they are managed by agencies and whatnot. Like there's so many complications. So, but it's like hardcore business development. Yeah, you email, you message, run behind them till they answer you, and then yeah, that's it. That's how we make connections now.
Right. I mean, I can understand that part about collaboration because I too work in a college society. So we basically organize the events. So for that, we basically look out for companies and sponsors. So I understand the pain that goes through it, reaching out and collaborating with others.
Hmm.
Yeah. So like also about the okay.
So I
So
have a call in like 5 minutes. I just got a message, so we'll have to wrap it up. If that's, I think we got enough content, right?
kind of, yeah. I mean, if at all it's possible, can you join in after the call? Or it's a long
It's
call?
actually a very important call. I can't mix it. So I was hoping for this to be like a 15-20 minutes thing. So I pushed it to like 4:45. So in like 5 minutes, so I'll definitely have to join. So you ask me now two last questions and we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, okay. Like one last question. So, like, what role does trends play in content creation? Like, how important is trends and how can like one make benefit out of trends? Like, yeah,
It's like very self-explanatory. Yeah? You literally answered the question in the question itself. So like, I mean, of course, see, trends are very important, and if it's something's going on right now in terms of like music or like world events or whatever, take advantage of it always. That's why be in the know, like keep Twitter on, read more, as much stuff as possible, so you know what's going on, like in terms of sports, in terms of culture, in terms of whatever music, whatever. And how you take advantage of trends is like sometimes it's like a little bit like everyone's doing it, so I'm doing it, and sometimes people are like little afraid of doing that. Balance it out with original content once in a while and make sure that I mean, you have to take advantage of trends. Like once you know what's happening in the world, make a video on it, make something funny about it, whatever your field is, like, finance or comedy or whatever. So always take advantage of trends. I have to say, like, it's a capitalist society we're living in. And then paise kamane hai. So you have to make sure where all the eyeballs are, you are. And yeah, just like, but keep balance it out with original content, balance it out with things you want to talk about or like, that are important to you. And that is always a great strategy to do, like one for them, one for us.
yeah, true. And one last small piece of advice that you would like to give all content creators.
I mean, I feel I'm not that qualified since I've never been a content creator, but my advice to content creators is always like, don't think that there's nothing more than brands and Instagram for you. Like there's so much out there for you to make money on. Like I know people who've gotten creative, started their studios, started their own clothing line, started their makeup lines, makeup beauty companies, making lots of cash. Like at the end of the time, you want to make money, right? You just don't want to go to fancy places for free, or you just don't want to go to concerts for free and pose and all. At the end of the day, you are someone who's like poured a lot of your passion into it, and make sure that your passion and that hard work turns into actual money that you're trying to make, and something that you can control, money that you control. If you're selling something, all that money is coming to you, and your ideas go in it. But if you're doing content creation and waiting for a brand to come up to you, even though you have opportunity to do something else, then you're not, and nothing is in your hands. If someone wants to pay you, they will. If they don't want to pay you, it's like all up in the air. So always like, become a creator with the goal of becoming an entrepreneur.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Aman, for your great knowledge and information that you shared with me and the audience as well. I hope you had a good time. You enjoyed. A bit
Of
hiccups
course,
in the
yeah. I mean,
beginning, but it's all well in
no
the end.
problem. No
Yeah.
problem.